The Library of Alexandria, once the greatest repository of knowledge the world had ever seen. Imagine a place filled with hundreds of thousands of scrolls and manuscripts containing the collected wisdom of many ancient civilizations. Scholars from all over the Mediterranean came here to learn, teach, and discover. But what if this treasure trove of human knowledge had never been destroyed? What if the fires, wars, and neglect that erased so much wisdom never happened? How would our world be different today? Let's journey back in time, explore the library's incredible legacy, and imagine an alternate future where its knowledge was preserved. A world where science, technology, and culture advanced faster than we ever thought possible. Founded around 300 BCE by Ptolemy I, a successor of Alexander the Great, the library was part of a larger research center called the Museion, dedicated to the Muses, the goddesses of arts and sciences. The goal? To collect all the knowledge of the known world. It is estimated the library held somewhere between 40,000 to 400,000 scrolls, works on subjects as varied as astronomy, medicine, mathematics, literature, philosophy, and geography. Some of the greatest thinkers of the ancient world spent time here. Euclid wrote his famous Elements, the foundation of geometry. Archimedes, the brilliant inventor and mathematician, likely shared his discoveries here. Eratosthenes calculated Earth's circumference with remarkable accuracy. The library was not just a storage place, it was a center of innovation and collaboration. Scholars compared texts from Greece, Egypt, Persia, India, and beyond, translating and combining ideas. This melting pot of knowledge led to discoveries that laid the groundwork for many modern sciences. Unfortunately, this golden age was not to last. Over the centuries, the library suffered repeated damage. Theories abound about its destruction. Julius Caesar's fire during the siege of Alexandria in 48 BCE, attacks during the Roman and later Byzantine periods, and finally, the Muslim conquest in the 7th century CE. Each event likely destroyed countless scrolls, and with them, priceless knowledge. Now, imagine if those fires never happened. If the library had survived, and scholars kept adding to its collection uninterrupted, how might history have changed? First, science and technology might have taken giant leaps forward, perhaps hundreds of years ahead of our actual timeline. For instance, Archimedes' inventions, like the compound pulley and early principles of hydraulics, could have been further developed and widely used much earlier. We might have seen water-powered machines or even primitive steam engines centuries before the Industrial Revolution. Eratosthenes' accurate calculation of Earth's size could have led to earlier advances in navigation and geography, maybe even early attempts at global exploration. Medical texts might have preserved and built upon Egyptian, Greek, and Indian knowledge, accelerating surgeries, treatments, and understanding of diseases. Imagine antibiotics or vaccinations developed centuries earlier. We might have had telescopes centuries before Galileo. Advanced engineering enabling early skyscrapers or bridges. Philosophical and mathematical ideas like calculus being discovered long before Newton and Leibniz. The ripple effect of such knowledge would have transformed every aspect of society: industry, warfare, art, and education. But there's a critical question. Could knowledge alone have driven progress? While preserving knowledge is vital, historical context matters too. Societal, political, and economic factors influence how knowledge is used and spread. Even if the scrolls survived, would the political instability, wars, or cultural shifts of later centuries have supported or stifled scientific development? For example, much of the Roman Empire's later instability disrupted education and research. The rise of religious dogma sometimes limited certain types of inquiry, yet many of Alexandria's preserved works influenced the Islamic Golden Age, where scholars in Baghdad and elsewhere translated and expanded on Greek texts, preserving knowledge through the Dark Ages in Europe. In fact, during the Renaissance, rediscovery of these ancient texts helped fuel an explosion of learning and discovery in Europe. If the library had never been destroyed, could the Renaissance and the scientific revolution have started centuries earlier? In this alternate timeline, humanity's technological and cultural progress could have soared. We might have reached the digital age centuries earlier, with computers, space exploration, and modern medicine developing long before the 20th century. Imagine the impact on global communication, economies, and even daily life. But history is complex. While the library's destruction was a profound loss, human curiosity and innovation have always found ways to shine through adversity. Still, it's a powerful reminder. Preserving knowledge is preserving our future. What if the greatest library of all time had never been lost? Perhaps we'd live in a world far more advanced and full of even greater possibilities.